All these 6 children share the same mother that have two different fathers, and they're both 3 of them are in the temporary custody of grandmother Adrian Hubbard, and 3 of them are in the temporary custody of great grandmother Marion Mitchell. And we're on Zoom holding this review hearing that also has a motion filed for custody, filed by, let me make sure I get it right, by Brandon Reynolds, who's the father of Bryce, Soraya, Jakaya, and Brandy. And then the mother filed a motion for reunification and return of custody for all of the kids. So we have a lot on the plate. Let's see who we have. We have Ms. Evans Battle, the attorney for the mother, Shara Mitchell, who I thought I saw, but I don't see her now. Where did she go? Well, I see Marion Mitchell, who's one of the custodians, Ms. Schrock, who's the attorney and guardian ad litem for the children, and Ms. Crane, who represents Mr. Reynolds and helped him file his motion. I don't see him here. And the other custodian, Ms. Adrian Hubbard, I'm letting in from the waiting room. I think she was in and may have got disconnected. I don't know. But anyway, we don't have either of the parents.
Your Honor, the father just contacted me. Whatever link he had was for not the correct hearing. So I just sent him the correct link, and he is logging in.
Okay. Ms. Evans Battle,
Okay.
you your client?
I'm right here.
Okay.
This is Mom.
Oh, you're there with your mother.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, there's something wrong with y'all's picture, because I see a little bitty head, and then I see like in shadows, I see some other people.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to fix it. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Miss Hubbard, I appreciate you having the children there. I know we had spoke about having the children present in case anyone needed to speak to them, but they can wait in another room while we get started, and then if we need them, we can bring them in.
Okay. Come on. Okay, go with your homework. Leave your homework on table.
And the same goes for the other household too, if they're in the room with you, Ms. Mitchell.
Still not.
Okay, you have Brandy, Jakara, and Soraya with you, right?
Correct. Bryce been over here as well. He goes to school from over here.
Okay. So that's the 4, that makes the 4 children that are Brandon Reynolds is the father of.
Correct. Correct.
Was there a legitimation proceeding in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. The children have been legitimated.
Okay. Ms. Adrian Hubbard, are these children ready to go home to either the dad or the mom at this time?
Well, with the mom, she's living here right now, but she's in the process of looking for a place of her own. So I say with the support of me and my mom, then my daughter can do it. For as Mr. Reynolds, I'm not sure, because I don't know his whereabouts for his living arrangements.
Has he been visiting the kids?
He see them, yeah, but they don't spend overnight with him that often.
Okay. Did you say that often or never?
That often. They did like a couple days around Christmas. They did a couple days last summer, and that's it.
So how much visitation does he have other than those 2?
He almost, some weekends he'll come on Sunday and he'll take them somewhere and bring them back on the same day. That's maybe, sometimes he'll do like maybe almost every Sunday, sometime maybe 2 Sundays out the month. Recently, only one. Recently, he only tried to pick them up one time out of three weeks, and I have a problem with that because I feel like he doesn't see them enough.
It sounds like you changed who was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I want the person that I asked the questions of needs to be the one still talking right now. So,
Yeah. So basically, he tried to get them on Sundays and take them somewhere and bring them back. But some Sundays he don't.
okay. Do they have any complaints about the time they spend with their dad?
No.
Do they have any complaints about the time they spend with their mom, who's living in the house right now? So,
No.
when does she spend time with the other two children, the two Taylor kids?
On the weekends, she spends time with them.
Do they come over to your house? Or
Correct.
do you go over to that, to Ms. Mitchell's house?
Every now and then she goes over there, but mostly they comes over here.
Okay. So there's room for all 6 kids and all the adults there
It
at
is.
your house?
Yes.
Ms. Crane, I think you filed your motion first, so I'm going to let you present what you want me to know about Mr. Reynolds' claim.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me pull that up. Mr. Reynolds has filed a motion for temporary custody and is asking that the children Bryce, Soraya, Jakaya, and Brandy be placed with him on a temporary basis. The court, this is a private action, but the court had set forth some requirements for both parents. And as far as what the court was asking from Mr. Reynolds, they had asked that Mr. Reynolds submit for drug screen, and if DFACS wanted him to, do any assessments or follow any recommendations, he was supposed to do that. To my knowledge and to Mr. Reynolds' knowledge, there were no assessments or other services requested by the department. He was required to complete paternity testing and legitimate the children. The children have been legitimated by this court. Both parents were asked to contribute to the financial support of the children, and the court directed me to calculate the child support based on the parents' income and get that all sorted out. I will stand in my place and state that I did attempt to do that. Mr. Reynolds has been forthcoming with his income information and has kept me updated with that. I was not able to get income information from the mother, and I was not able to get information regarding the Social Security payments that the children receive. So I was not able to calculate the child support that the court wanted the parents to pay. Mr. Reynolds can testify as to anything he's provided for the children since the case opened. Mr. Reynolds also was required to maintain stable and suitable housing and stable and sufficient income to support the children, maintain regular and consistent visitation, and demonstrate that the child's best interest would be served by reunification. We are prepared today to show that Mr. Reynolds does have suitable housing that is appropriate and can house all 4 of the children that he is asking to have temporary custody of. Mr. Reynolds has stable income and has so for much more than the 6 months. He is regularly employed and has stable income suitable to support the children, is not asking for any assistance that he's told me about in that regard. As far as visitation, I'm going to let him speak to that because I think there's a huge difference in what a father is allowed to do and what a father is trying to do. And we do not have a visitation schedule set forth by the court. So Mr. Reynolds is at the mercy of the temporary custodians as far as what he gets and when he gets it. So I believe that it's important for the court to hear that there is a difference between what he wants, what he asks for, and what he's allowed to have. Another concern that we will raise today is that the reason that these complaints were filed in the first place, back in April of 2023, is the allegations by the temporary custodians. They both allege the same thing in their dependency complaints. They allege that the mother is mentally unstable and that she is in and out of institutions and unable to care for her children. Since those complaints were filed on April 17th, 2023, and during the pendency of this case, the mother has been institutionalized 2 more times. She was institutionalized at least in July of 2023. And again,
I hate to interrupt. I'm trying to figure out where we're at. It appears to me that I'm going to object because if Ms. Crane is going to present the evidence, then she should present the evidence and not testify about what she thinks is going on. And I would ask the court to go ahead and ask her to present her case and present the evidence in the case, and not this is not an opportunity for her to testify or even.
I thought she was making an opening statement that got a little long-winded, but I
had a lot of more detail than.
Well, we don't need to hear it twice, though. So if you do have testimony on that regard, if you'll go ahead and present it.
I'll do that, Your Honor. I'll go ahead and call Mr. Brandon Reynolds.
He's already under oath. Go ahead.
Mr. Reynolds, can you unmute yourself, please? Yes. Okay. Mr. Reynolds, where do you currently reside?
I currently reside at the
Is that the home that you've secured so that your children can live with you if the court grants you temporary custody?
Yes,
Okay.
at the 120.
And can you describe the home for us? I know that you gave me pictures and we'll use those if we need to, but how many bedrooms?
It is a 4-bedroom.
Okay. The children have beds. Do you have beds for the children to sleep in, the things that they need?
Yes.
Okay. And you're employed?
Yes, I'm employed.
Okay. And how long have you been at your current job?
My current job, I've been here for 2 years, and my other job, my second job, I go back and forth. I'm getting jobs. I always keep a current job and another job.
Okay. So 2 years at your current job?
Yes. And
Okay.
before that, 3 years on another job.
Okay. And if the children were to come stay with you on a temporary basis, have you identified healthcare providers for the children, a doctor, a dentist?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell the court where they would be seen?
They would be seen in Jackson County, a pediatrician in Nicholson, Georgia.
Okay. Is the pediatrician through Piedmont?
Yes, ma'am. Piedmont.
Okay. And have you identified a pediatric dentist?
Yes, I have.
Okay. In both of these places, do they accept the insurance that your children have?
They do.
And are they accepting new patients?
They are.
Okay. And what about school? How many of the children are enrolled in school?
All 4 of them.
Okay. And would they be attending public school?
Yes.
Would that be in Jackson County?
Yes.
Okay. How will the children get to school?
It will be me or the bus or just any type of transportation I provide.
Okay.
Carol.
Okay. And as far as the visitation, and your ability to visit with the children since the case started, do you have a set visitation schedule? Has anybody ever given you a set visitation schedule?
No, there has been no schedule. They allow me to see the kids anytime I call. There hasn't been no problem between them.
Okay. Do you call weekly, monthly? How often do you try to see your children?
Yes, I call them. I try to call them every week and speak to them on video chat. And, between my work hours, I try to see them definitely every weekend. If they're busy hanging with grandma or any other family member, I allow them that space. But every weekend or every day, anytime, I try to get my kids. Like yesterday for my birthday, I wanted to get kids, but I didn't get in contact with them.
Okay, so have there been times where you've wanted to see the children, asked to see the children, and you were not able to?
No, it's just I haven't had any contact. I'll contact and then no contact after that.
Okay, so let me clarify the question. Because you're saying you try to contact but you can't reach them. So are you trying to reach someone to arrange to see your children?
Yes.
And are there times where you are not successful?
No. They allow me to see the kids.
So every time you try to call, somebody answers and lets you see the children.
No, they don't answer every time. And I don't know
Okay.
if it's that's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. And have you asked for the children to spend the night with you?
I have.
All right. And have they been able to spend the night with you every time you've asked?
They have.
And how many times have you asked?
Every time when I have, if they're not going to school the next day, or if I don't have work the next day, just depending on the school schedule or my work schedule.
Okay. Have they spent the night with you more than twice?
Yes.
Have they spent the night with you more than just the holidays that we heard about prior to the hearing?
No, because of their school and the distance between us.
Okay.
Oh,
As far as the motion that the mother has filed for return of custody, are you aware of the mother's mental health issues?
Yes, I am.
And are you aware that that is what led the temporary custodians to file this case?
Yes, I'm aware. Now,
And to your knowledge, is the information that the temporary custodians provided in their complaint, they allege that the mother is in and out of mental health institutions. To your knowledge, is that correct?
yes.
And since this case started, are you aware of the mother being institutionalized?
Since this case started,
Since this case started,
before
March 2023 is when the complaint was filed. After March 2023, are you aware of her being institutionalized?
after April.
March, April 2023. Are you aware of her being institutionalized?
Around that time, the file, no, I was not aware around April.
Okay, that's not the question. After April 2023, so May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December 2023, are you aware of the mother being institutionalized?
Yes, yes.
When do you believe she was institutionalized during that period?
In between July 28th and October 16th, she was in there.
So was that one visit or two visits?
That one visit, from my knowledge, between those dates.
Okay, so the mother went in July and came out in October?
Yeah, she was only in there for like 2 weeks.
Okay, July to October is longer than 2 weeks. I'm
That's
sorry.
the day I'm going back on my text messages of when I had them in care.
Okay, so you have text messages indicating that the mother was institutionalized in July of 2023.
No, of me, because I had they was contacting me and around the dates of graduations and stuff like that. I was a little bit more involved than usual.
Okay, but the question is, to your knowledge, was the mother recommitted, institutionalized in July of 2023?
Yes,
To your knowledge, based on your communications, was the mother recommitted and institutionalized in October of 2023?
can you repeat that? I had somebody calling me.
To your knowledge and based on your communications, was the mother reinstitutionalized and committed in October of 2023?
No, in between those dates, that's the dates I know she was in there. I had no communication with her.
I know that. You didn't have communication with her. Okay, that's fine. She's been reinstitutionalized since the case began. Is that your testimony?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have concerns about the children being returned to her custody at this time?
yes.
Okay. What are your concerns?
Being instituted again.
As of today, right now, Are you in a position to take custody of your children on a temporary basis right now today if the court grants your request?
I can.
Okay. Do you have any issues or barriers that would prevent that? Do you have childcare issues, after school care issues, anything that would prevent that?
No.
Okay. And do you understand that your request is a request for temporary custody, pending the mother regaining custody of the children?
Yes.
Your Honor, that's all I have from this witness.
Ms. Schrock, do you have any questions for Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, sir. Mr. Reynolds, you mentioned that there was a significant distance between you and the children. How long of a drive is it?
It's about an hour drive. I'm in Stone Mountain. They're in McDonough, and just an hour drive between. It's just the traffic makes it an hour, the longest.
Okay. And do you work on the weekends, or do you have the weekends off?
I have the weekends. I work. My only off days are Sunday and Monday.
Your off days are Sundays and Mondays?
Yes.
What time do you get off?
I get off at 12
What
p.m.
time do you get off on Saturdays?
12 p.m.
Okay.
Is that 12 p.m. noon or 12 p.m. midnight?
Midnight.
Okay. Midnight on Saturday night.
Yes.
So
and that schedule changed over time.
okay, so that explains why you haven't had the weekend visits, because if you got them on Sunday, well, I guess the Sunday's your only day on the weekend to visit. Is that right?
That's right.
What about during any of their school breaks? Like they just had a spring break in April, they had a winter break in February. Were you able to do any overnight visits during those breaks?
My knowledge, I know I did something with them, but are you talking about spending the night?
Yeah, spending the night.
Spending the night, trying to make some arrangements. I can't remember. I think I had them for
Okay.
spring.
Spring break was just last week, so if you had them overnight, you would remember, because it was their spring break was just last week. Did you know that they were on spring break?
Yeah, I knew they was on spring break. Yes.
Okay. Okay. No other questions.
Ms. Evans-Battle, any questions?
Yes, sir. On the occasions that they did spend the night, where were you? Where did they spend the night at?
I'd be at my mother's house
And where does your mother live?
in Nicholson, Georgia.
Okay, and is that 112 your mother's address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the home that you're actually going to be moving to would be in the home of your mom, correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated that you've been employed at least for the last 5 years, correct?
Correct.
And during that time period, how much support have you paid for your children?
Estimate. I just get what the mothers ask me to get, and the grandparents, they'll call me. I have text messages of them when I ask them if they need anything.
Okay, so you only pay anything towards their care if they ask you to, correct?
Right, and I got my own things I bought them as well.
Okay, and then you've bought them maybe gifts over, holidays, birthday, those type of gifts, correct?
Yeah, shoes, clothes, anything they need.
All right, and during the time in which this hearing case has been going on, how much did you voluntarily give them for care?
Voluntarily?
Yes.
I guess not voluntarily, no, because they do a pretty good job of asking and calling if they need anything.
Okay. The healthcare providers and pediatricians and things like that, you indicated that they accept the insurance that the children have. Do you have the children on your insurance policy from work?
Yes,
Okay. And where do you work?
I work for SD Overwatch Security.
What is that?
It's a security company, and I also
Okay.
do
And
balancing
they're on
activities.
they're currently using your insurance benefits?
Not currently because of what was all been going on. I have to switch it back over
You have to switch it back over to what?
because my the way my company works, they offer you can get the benefits or they can give you the money. At the time, I switched it over to I needed the cash instead
Okay.
of taking it for insurance.
Okay. So they're not currently on your insurance, correct?
No, I can switch
And
it
how
back
long have they been off your insurance?
just like 2 months.
Did you notify the guardians that they no longer had insurance?
No,
Why not?
because they don't even know where I work at, and we don't have a lot of communication like that, as far as financial or where I work at.
Okay.
'Cause
So, but they would have, but they don't have any information about whether or not you have the children on insurance.
No,
Okay.
we just had another type of conversation.
All right then. And the other thing was, you said you were aware of the mom's mental health issues. What are they?
She has psychosis, schizophrenic, and postpartum.
And where did you learn that information?
From her herself, she told me
And when did she tell you that?
when she first got out. When she first got out the first time, we went to the aquarium, took the kids, and she told me, had a long conversation. Then the second
Okay.
time she
Go
got
ahead.
out, she told me the same thing. She got into it with her grandmother, and the kids know a little, even know a little bit about the story. And that when she was instituted between July 28th and the 16th, and that's my estimate of when she was in there. I don't know exact what date she was in there, but she was in there, and the mother
Okay.
also told me as well. 'Cause
So
I was trying
the
to,
only time that you know that she's been hospitalized would have been around the March date when the case first began, correct?
yes, that's when I fully
And that would
knew.
have been what was put in the complaint, that she suffered from postpartum, correct?
Correct.
And then after she got out, you're alleging that she spoke with you then. That was around March, and then in July.
Yeah, in between July and the 16th, and a little bit before the July, I was trying to communicate with the mother because we had a little bit better communication, and
Okay.
that slacked off, and I didn't hear from the mother or the grandparents because I only had certain days to hang with my kids, which was on the weekend, and that I didn't see them within those days. I could only see my kids. And that's when I knew that okay, something's going on.
Okay.
Then 2 weeks later, that's when I was able to get in contact with.
All right. And you said you're asking for temporary custody pending her reunification with the children, correct?
Correct.
And so you would be okay if the court said that she could be reunified based on the testimony today. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Well, no, because with the mother help, you say?
Well, I mean, she's got her grandmother and her mom. The children would be living there with them.
Yes, yes. I mean, I'll be fine. I have no problem with that. It's just if her by herself.
All right. Thank you.
Were you through, Ms. Evans-Battle?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reynolds, who lives at the lake?
That is a friend of mine. My job is close by here. I have a lot of sites. My job have a lot of sites all around in different counties. I also have a site that's out there in the Blackthorn in the Nicholson area. So I'm only here, living here, because my closest site is here. And then when I get my kids, everything is already prepared to go to the Blackthorn.
Well, if and when you move your children to Nicholson, are you giving up the residence in Stone Mountain, or are you still going to have that too?
No, I'm not going to have this, but since he's a close friend, I can always, be here for work. But we're going to be in 112 Blackthorn Road.
Do you own a motor vehicle?
Yes.
What county is it registered and you pay taxes on it in?
It's in Nicholson, in the Nicholson area, Jefferson.
And that's Jefferson County?
Yes.
So who lives in the house in Nicholson besides your mother?
Just me, my mother, and brother.
How old is your brother?
He's 20.
Does he work?
Yes.
Is he in school or what?
Yes, he's in school. He's in college. He's graduated. Just started a job too as well.
He's 20 and he's already graduated from college? That's good.
No, he's in college. No, he ain't graduated yet.
He graduated from high school.
Yes.
Has he ever been in trouble with the law before?
No, he hasn't.
Has he ever met your children before?
Yes. They love his uncle.
So it would be your 4 kids, you, your 20-year-old brother, and your mother.
Correct. And it'll just be for momentarily till I get a place out there.
Oh, so that wasn't going to be your residence.
That's gonna be my residence for a while.
Okay.
That's my mother, I always have a room. We always have extra rooms.
Does anybody live in that house besides who you've mentioned?
No.
Anybody stay in that house other than who you mentioned?
No.
Have your kids ever spent the night at your mother's house in Nicholson?
They have.
When was the last time they spent the night there?
I want to say last month, but I don't know exact date.
I get the grandmother said it had been a couple of times since this has been going on. You were pretty vague about it, not being very often. So and I got the impression it wasn't very recently. So how many total nights in the last 12 months have your kids spent the night in Nicholson at that house with your mother and you?
My estimate, probably 20, 19 times, like 20 times.
19 or 20 times in the last year, 12 months.
Yes, because of the distance and the school, the
Because of
job,
what?
and the distance, the school, the job, and
Yeah.
a job and their school
Okay.
and I see them during the week too as well.
Well, if they came to live with you, how old is your mother? I hate to ask ladies their age, but I'm going to ask you your mother's age. How old is she?
She's 56.
56 or 66?
56.
56. Does she still work outside the home? Does she have a job? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And I had somebody calling me at the time.
Well, we're in court. Who's calling? Turn off your phone. People are calling you, disrupting you, interrupting you. Where does your mother work?
What she does? She has a lot of side hustles.
Beg your pardon?
Like she does hair and.
Or does she have a salon in her house, or does she go to a salon and work there?
No, she just does family hair and friends, and I think she works for it's an app, a job. So she works when she wants to, so she don't have no.
My point is, she's not at the house all the time, right?
Yeah, she's at the house. Yes.
Okay. So all the hair that she does, people come to your house and have their hair done by your mother, and they pay her inside your house or her house.
Yes.
Okay. My point is, who do you have to take care of the kids when you're at work and they're not at school?
My mother.
And she's doing hair.
No, she does both, but she's not gonna do hair if she has to watch kids. And the time she does
So you're
it,
gonna make her quit her job.
Oh no, she knows everything about this. It won't affect her the time she does hair and the time that she needs to, the time she needs to help me with the kids, which is only right? You're not picking up from school one time and depending on my schedule. So I'm going to
When-
adjust my schedule to
When's
my
the
kid.
last time you saw the children's mother, Ms. Mitchell, Shara? When's the last time you saw her face to face?
Two, I have to look at my phone. 2 weeks ago, when I took
Okay.
him I think it was about 2 weeks ago when I took him to the circus.
Okay. The circus where? In Atlanta?
Yes, the Soul Circus.
Okay. Did they have a good time?
Oh yes, they had a good time.
Did mom go with you?
No, sir.
All right. But you saw her there at the house where the kids live?
Yes, I had to pick him up from there.
Did she talk to you?
No.
You
Well,
didn't, well, you said you saw her, so you saw her and you didn't speak?
we spoke, but it wasn't no quarter conversation. It was,
Okay. Well,
hey,
did she act weird or act like she was over medicated, or that she was drunk, or that she was not about her faculties? Anything unusual about how she acted?
no, it was nothing unusual how she acted.
Okay.
It's been times when I was in the house, when they was allowing me in the house, that she gets very drowsy when she's medicated, when she takes her
Okay.
medicine.
All
And
right.
and then the kids tell me she sleeps all day.
Do you have any complaints about how Ms. Adrienne Hubbard and Ms. Marion Mitchell have taken care of the kids, 4 of whom
No.
are yours?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you think the kids would be better off with you out in Nicholson, changing schools, making new friends, or staying where they are with their grandmothers and their mom? Where
They'll
would
be
they be
fine.
better off?
They'll be better
Sir?
off with me. They'll be
They'd be
better off
better
with
off
me,
with
Your Honor.
you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Have you asked your kids if they wanted to come live with you?
I have.
And they said that they did?
Yes. Very excited. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right.
No problem.
You have any other witnesses, Ms. Crane?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Evans Battle, you want to put up your side? Have you talked to these kids, Ms. Schrock? They're not, well, one of them's, I guess the oldest one is 10 or almost 10.
Almost 10. Yeah, the two oldest are 9 and 8. And I've spoken to the two oldest children. They're actually on the autism spectrum. So even though they're the oldest, they still have some difficulty communicating.
Have you talked to them about possibly changing where they live from grandma's to dad?
Yes, I mean, like I said, I attempted to that with them being on the autism spectrum. Their ability to communicate was somewhat challenging. So it was difficult to get, clear information from Brandy and Jakaya.
How about any of the others? They're
Well, I have,
biddies.
yeah, right, yeah. Brandy and Jakaya are the two oldest. I mean, they were able to tell me that they, enjoy living with their mother and they don't have any concerns living with their mother. They didn't express any concerns with that. They also expressed that they enjoyed the visits with their father. The impression I got from, speaking with them and just all the information that I have in the case is that, the visits have been somewhat limited and they've been, and I'm not saying that this is any fault of Mr. Reynolds, but the visits have consisted of, them being, they do a lot of fun things with him. And so they are very enjoyable to the kids. They go out, they go to places like Sky Zone or Dave and Buster's or just different outings like that. And they have a great time with him, but they haven't really experienced lengthy, visits where a lot of parenting, for a lack of a better description, is taking place more than just, these kind of short, fun visits.
Okay. Ms. Evans Battle, what do you want to present?
Well, Judge, I wanted to have the mother to testify, and of course, for the court to hear from the petitioners in a little
10
bit.
minutes.
And so I'll start with Shira first, Mitchell first. And can you tell us about what was the reason this case that you're aware of came in before the courts?
Well, I was going to the Mr. Institution last year. I haven't been to the Mr. Institution in October at all. I've been out of the Mr. Institution for like 8 months now. I've been doing good. When I went to go see my psychologist, they prescribed me only sleep medicine. I don't have to take any other medicine. I don't have schizophrenia. I don't have that. I only had postpartum psychosis. Um, so this came about because I was going to the Mr. Institution back in January. I went in January and February. I never went to the Mr. Institution in July or October. So I'm just confused on where all of this is coming from. My kids are very safe with me. I've been doing good. I've been going to work. I take care of my kids. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My kids never see me sleep. Because I'm asleep while they're at school. So I get up, take them to school. I get them dressed for school in the morning. When they go to school, I go to sleep. When they come home, I'm helping them with their homework, feeding them, and then I go off to work. I work from like 5 to 12. Last time Dad saw me, it's been a long time. Dad did not see me when the circus was here because I was at work when he was taking them to the circus. So, and whenever Dad was seeing me, I was not sleepy. I was very alert. Everything Dad said was a lie.
Okay.
I just want to say that.
Let me just have you to answer the questions that I'm going to ask you. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I'm just confused on where all of this is coming from.
Okay. So you said you had postpartum psychosis. You went to
Yes.
a psychologist. That what medication were you prescribed?
I wasn't prescribed nothing but like a sleep medicine.
Do you
So
know
it's
what that
like I can't remember the name of it, but it's kind of like melatonin because sometimes it's hard for me to go to sleep at night.
is?
So
Okay.
I just
Work
take
nights.
melatonin. I just take sleep medicine, take sleep medicine some nights, but not every night.
Okay. And so they gave you something that you take as needed.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have that prescription with you by chance?
No, they just got it sent over to the pharmacy, so it just now got ready.
Okay. And that when was the last time you saw a psychologist or psychiatrist?
I seen the psychologist like 2 days ago, so today is Tuesday. So I think had been Friday. No, it was Friday.
Okay. And where do you get receive your mental health services from?
Henry County Counseling Center.
And how long have you been going to the Henry County Counseling Center?
For about 7 months now.
Okay. And you said that you work. Where do you work?
I work at Pizza Hut.
Okay. And you work from 5 to midnight, you said,
From
right?
5 to 12, yes.
And how do you get to work?
My car.
Okay. And does all the children go to school?
Yes.
The ones that are in the household with you, correct?
Yes.
And then Bryce, I believe it is, that comes there and he goes to school with you as well?
He lives here. He lives here. So he goes to school here.
I thought there was a fourth one that actually went to school.
Yes, that's Bryce. He's the fourth one.
Okay. All right. Okay. And can you tell me, you said you help take care of the kids and those type of things. Do you contribute financially to the care of the home?
Yes, I do
Okay.
pay rent.
Okay, and how does that work?
I pay my mom $1,000. And also I buy them little stuff that they need. So like if they need I buy deodorant, lotion, and stuff like that. So I just
Okay.
went to the store today actually.
All right. And what about the children that are living with your grandmother? Do you help support them as well?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you contribute to her household?
I buy them diapers and wipes.
Okay. Do you provide childcare for them, or does she not work?
They actually go to childcare at my auntie house, so no, I don't.
Okay. And who pays for the childcare services?
My grandmother actually pays for it.
Okay. And you said you see those children on the weekends, correct?
Yes. And if I'm off during the week, I see them during the week sometimes.
All right. Before this happened and at the beginning of last year, who cared for your children?
My mom and my grandmother.
So
And me also.
being
So
together.
all of us was helping. I was staying at my own home, which I had a 2-bedroom apartment. And my grandmother was coming over when I first had my son.
Mhm.
She was coming over every day to help out around my house and stuff. And that's when I went through the postpartum psychosis. But before I had him, when I was pregnant, I was doing everything on my own. So I was nobody was helping me. I was living in my own home, and I was taking care of all 5 kids before I had my 6th child.
Okay. All right. And do you think that you're mentally and physically healthy to take care of all 6 of your children?
Yes.
Do you have any contact with the father for the Kamir and Kaiser?
Kaiser and Kaiser. Yes, I have contact with him.
Okay. Does he assist with the care of the children?
As far as money wise, no, but he does see them every blue moon. But other than that, no.
Okay. Is he aware of the hearing today, the review hearing and the?
Yes, I told him about it, but he says that nobody sent him the logon information. So every time we have a hearing, I let him be aware of it, and he never shows up. So nothing I could do.
He lives in Memphis, doesn't he?
Huh?
Doesn't he live in Memphis?
No, he lives here.
Well,
He lives in
gave
Decatur,
us an
Georgia.
address in December of 23 in Memphis.
No, he's never lived in Memphis before.
DeAndre Stevenson?
No, that's not him. His name is Taj Taylor.
Well, I don't even have his name in the file.
The wrong case, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I picked up, well, oh, he's in Decatur at Daisy Drive.
Yes, that's his
Sorry,
address.
I was looking in the wrong file. It's Miss Crane's fault.
And if you before this all happened, was Mr. Reynolds in contact with you about the children?
No.
And you heard him indicate that that your mom would reach out to him. Are you aware of whether or not your mom reached out to him for to help meet the needs of the children?
She did one time, and that was it. And over the case of a year, he would give money twice a year, and that would be it for the whole year.
Okay. Did he buy school clothes or things of that nature that you're aware of?
Yes, that's included in the money.
Okay.
What I meant by the money, he bought school clothes one time, and then we did receive money one time.
And that's over this year, or if it was before,
Last year.
just last year?
Yes.
And before last year, how did he contribute?
He wasn't contributing at all or seeing them before last year.
Okay. All right. And did the terms of the case plan called for you to, did the Department of Family and Children Services ever get in contact with you about an alcohol abuse assessment or drug screens?
No, what I did is I went and did my own drug screening, but nobody never contacted me about a drug screening.
Okay,
So I just went and paid my money myself and did it.
Okay. And was there any all right, and did anybody ask you to, did you contact the guardian regarding a release of information for the Henry County Counseling Center?
Yes, I did.
Okay, but when did you contact her?
No, you said, did I do a release of information from the Henry County Center?
Yes.
Yes, I did the release of information.
Okay, and when did you do that?
Yesterday.
Okay. Did anybody ask you before last week about getting the release of information to them?
No. I found out through you about that, so I didn't have I had no clue about it.
Okay. And you get Social Security disability for 2 of the children, correct?
Yes.
And you, are there any other benefits that you receive to help support the family?
No. Oh, yes, food stamps, that's it.
Okay. And the children's insurance, how is that taken care of?
The children's insurance is in the insurance of the state. So they get insurance through Medicaid, through the food stamps.
Okay.
So they have a certain type of Medicaid. 2 of the kids have a different Medicaid from the other 2 kids, from the other 4 kids, I mean. So Brandy and Jakaya has regular Medicaid from the state, and my other 4 kids have a different type of insurance through the state.
Okay, then are those benefits in which you applied for?
Yes, I applied for those benefits.
Are you aware as to whether or not Mr. Reynolds had insurance on the children?
No, Mr. Reynolds had never had insurance.
Well, do you know, I guess the better question, did he ever tell you that he had insurance on the children?
No.
Okay, so you've never used any benefits of insurance from Mr. Reynolds? Correct?
No, I never used any benefits or Medicaid from Mr. Reynolds' job.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell,
Yes.
you just testified that you were institutionalized in January and February. Was that 2023?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe you testified that you were not institutionalized after that?
No, I was not I testified that I was not institutionalized in July and October.
Okay.
I was not.
Were you institutionalized in March?
No, I wasn't.
Were you institutionalized in April?
In April?
2023?
No.
No?
I wasn't.
Okay. So the complaint, actually 2 complaints, a complaint filed by your mother and a complaint filed by your grandmother. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Would you say that your mother and grandmother were lying to the court when they claimed that you were hospitalized as of the day they filed those complaints? That was April 17th, 2023. Was that untrue?
when they filed the complaint, I was actually in the house with them. I had just came back from the mental institution. So
Okay.
I was in there in January and February, and I had just got back when they filed. I saw them filing the complaint.
Okay.
So I was here and I was very aware.
Okay. So is it your testimony today then that they lied to the court?
I'm not saying anybody lied. I'm just saying that I wasn't institutionalized on that same day. It was a different day.
Okay.
So
No,
they're
this,
saying that they're saying that they filed it because I was institutionalized, but not saying that I was institutionalized on that same date, ma'am.
okay. Ma'am, I'm going to read to you because it's part of the record of the court. Mother is at Piedmont Henry Hospital as of today. Date 4/17/23. It says you were there on the day they signed and swore out this complaint. Were you not in the hospital and institution?
Like I said, I saw them doing the paperwork. So I wasn't institutionalized then.
Okay. And you indicated that the only medication that you take is for sleep.
Yes.
Were you on any medication before that?
When I first got out, I was
First
on
got out of
medication
where?
before that. When I first got out of Piedmont, I was on medication.
And when did you get out of Piedmont?
I think it might have been sometime in February.
Okay. And what medication were you on in February?
Hylodol and Zyprexa.
Okay. And what are those for?
They're for any type of psychological problems.
Okay.
Any type.
Okay. And what doctor took you off of that medication?
Actually, Dr. Vaughn took me off of medication.
What doctor is that?
The doctor at Piedmont institution. Because I went in January and February, as I stated. So when I went in January and February, when I came back home, he was telling me he released me without medication in February. But in January, he sent me home with medication. Your date's wrong.
Okay. Okay. Your Honor, if you could please direct whoever it is that is speaking to the witness to stop assisting her in her testimony. You're mute.
Can I say something, Judge? I don't know. Can I say something right now or not?
Your Honor, you're on mute. We're not able to hear you.
You need to follow my instructions to do not prompt any witness, your daughter or anybody else, in their testimony. They're adults, and if they don't have an answer, they can say, I don't know the answer. Okay? So we're going to have to stop, come back tomorrow if I can figure out a time to come back. Because go ahead.
I wasn't part of the excusing that case for tomorrow.
Well, hold on a second. I don't know why it had like 7 or 8 people copied on it.
And I don't see Mr. Reynolds. I didn't know if you knew that.
Are you through with your questions?
No, Your Honor. I was waiting to see if you were going to let me continue or if we had to come back.
No, I'm sorry. I said continue, but I think I was on mute. But you go ahead. I'm trying to find another date tomorrow, tomorrow. But
Okay.
Go ahead for right now.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, so you were released in February with no medication?
I'm sorry, that date was wrong. So it had to be like February, March. But it was not in April, January. I mean, it was not in April or July or October. That's
Okay.
what I'm
So
saying.
when you were released, whenever it was, you were released with no medication?
Yes.
And were you released with no diagnosis?
My diagnosis was postpartum psychosis.
Okay. And what was your follow-up care for that?
That's when I started going to Henry County. They just told me to go to the nearby counseling center. So that's when I started going there.
And you see a psychologist there?
Yes.
Okay. And is that psychologist treating you for postpartum?
No, she is not treating me for postpartum anymore.
Okay. What are you being treated for?
Just sleep problems at this point.
Okay, so you see a psychologist for sleep problems?
Yes, she's my psychologist for everything. So
Okay,
I
so
just
what is
now at this
everything?
point,
What is everything?
anything that I want to talk to her about, because this is my information. So I talk to her about my business, just like everybody else go to a psychologist or a counselor or whatever. I do that just because I want to, but I don't have to because I've been released without medicine. But I just do it because that's what I want to do.
Okay. And you're employed at Pizza Hut?
Yes.
When did you start that job?
I started Pizza Hut last month, and before that, I was employed at Panera Bread.
Okay, and how many hours a week do you work at Pizza Hut?
It varies about 25, 30 every week.
25 to 30?
Yes.
And how much do you make an hour?
10 hours.
Okay. So what is your average take-home pay per week?
Per week,
Mhm.
about 5 some, 6 some.
Okay. Ms.
No,
Mitchell,
that's for every 2 weeks, not every week.
okay. So if you work 30 hours at $10 an hour, that's $300 a week gross. After they take out taxes, so you get about $500 every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. But you testified that you pay your mother $1,000 a month.
Yes.
So she takes your entire paycheck from your job?
No. So, you know, I have the other assistance that I've been getting, so I give her money out of that and plus the money that I make from my job.
What is the other assistance that you get?
I give her $500 from the kids' income, and then I give her $500 out of my income.
All right. What is the children's total income per month?
I think it's 1,600. 1,600, yes.
Can y'all be back at
I'm-
11 o'clock tomorrow morning to finish this hearing?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. I've got a hearing at 1:45, but I think we can get it done.
Y'all,
Yes, sir, I can-
some of you lawyers have to be with Judge Brown in the morning early, and he's got to be through by 11 because Judge Amero's using his courtroom.
Yes.
And so I've got something that tomorrow morning, but I'll be through. So can everybody come back at 11 tomorrow? And we'll do it on Zoom. The clerk will have to send out a new Zoom link.
Yes.
Do you have the email address for the grandmother so they'll get the link? Thank you. Yeah. All right. I'll see y'all back at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay.
Your
Okay,
Honor,
thank you.
Your Honor, before we leave, could you please direct the parties not to discuss today's hearing or the testimony since I'm in the middle of my examination of Ms. Mitchell? I don't want anybody trying to affect her testimony tomorrow.
The rule of sequestration is invoked with respect to the witnesses are not allowed to discuss the case, what went on today, what may go on tomorrow. You cannot discuss it. Understood? You can't
Yes.
just give people suggestions about what to say if they're asked certain questions. Everybody's an adult. They can answer their own questions. They don't need any help from anybody else. Okay? So
Okay.
don't get in trouble with me by doing something like that. Okay? I'll see everybody back at 11 o'clock. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
cooperation, and I'm sorry we couldn't finish today, but we should have time to hear what everybody wants to tell me so I can figure out what to do. Thank y'all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Well, I should beat that woman over the head about that stupid stuff. It doesn't make any difference. She doesn't know what they said in that paperwork. She has yet to tell me what date she was in the hospital. But the fact she was in the hospital doesn't mean she was institutionalized. Private dependency cases that were on for review and for receipt of evidence on Brandon Reynolds, the father of 4 of the 6 children, asking for temporary custody, and the mother's motion saying she'd substantially completed her case plan and she wants return of custody of all 6 of the children to her. We went for about an hour and 15 minutes yesterday and did not complete the hearing, so we're back today, one day later, to complete the hearing. Mr. Reynolds disappeared off my screen. The the two temporary custodians and mom are here. Mom's attorney, Ms. Evans Battle, is here. Mr. Reynolds' attorney, Ms. Crane, is here, but Mr. Reynolds left. And Ms. Schrock is trying to get her video to work. So she signed off to sign back in. So as soon as they get back, we'll start. Everybody's under oath from the last hearing. You're still under oath. This is a continuation of that hearing. And Ms. Evans Battle was asking questions, or Ms. Crane. You monopolized most of the last hour, Ms. Evans Battle, so that's why I picked you. Ms. Schrock has got her eclipse glasses on, I guess. I don't. It must be the monitor and is reflecting off your glasses in this vibrant blue. There, it's gone now, so or at least moved. But Mr. Reynolds disappeared. Oh, there he is. He just popped back in the waiting room. All right, Mr. Reynolds is back. Remember, everybody's under oath from yesterday's hearing, Mr. Reynolds. I told the rest of them, and I didn't realize you had disappeared off the screen. So Ms. Crane is going to pick up where she left off. Ms. Crane?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. And Ms. Mitchell, I'm going to try to remember where I was yesterday. I believe we were talking about your hospitalizations, and you testified that you had been hospitalized in January and February, but not after that. Is that correct?
I got the dates mixed up. It had to be in February because I had my son in January, so it had to have been February or March. So it was
Okay.
right after I had my son in January.
Okay. Were you hospitalized in April?
April. I'm not sure if the next date I was hospitalized because when you have postpartum psychosis, you tend to forget. So I'm not sure of any other dates.
Do you know how many times you've been hospitalized?
Just two.
But you're not sure when those were?
I'm not sure when the second date was. No.
Okay. And in the complaints that were filed by your mother and grandmother, there are allegations that you took medication that made you unable to care for yourself or the children. What medications were you taking at that time?
I don't remember exactly which one that was. Because it was so long ago. It was last year, the beginning of last year, so I don't remember. I don't remember which one that had me, because one of them had me have like a bad effect and I had to stop taking it, but I can't remember which one it was.
Okay. And what medications do you take now?
I don't take anything but a sleep medicine now. It's kind of like a melatonin.
Is that prescribed?
Yes,
Okay. What is the name of the prescription?
it's melatonin.
Okay. Melatonin is an over-the-counter drug, ma'am. So what
No, they have
medication are you
they have
prescribed?
one they have one that they prescribe you to.
Okay. Do you have your prescription there with you?
No,
Are you at home?
yes.
Do you keep your medication at home?
I actually left it in the car.
Is the car at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold
Do you have
hold on
someone?
one second. That one I already took all of that one, and I was supposed to go get another one for the CVS. I haven't had time to go get it today, but I'll go get it after we get offline. So I already took all of that.
And you don't know the name of the medication that you get. Is that correct?
It's similar to melatonin. One of them was melatonin. They prescribed me melatonin the first time, and then now they just gave me something new. But they said it's similar to melatonin.
Okay. How often do you see a psychologist?
Once a month.
And what is your current diagnosis?
I don't have a diagnosis. My last diagnosis was postpartum psychosis.
Okay. And what does the psychologist treat you for?
Right now she just treated me for the sleep. And that's it for now. And we just been talking about other issues, and that's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
What's the
And you
name of that
testify.
doctor? Ms. Mitchell,
Um,
what's the name of that doctor?
it's Henry County.
She's at the
Henry
counseling
County.
center?
Yes, Henry County Counseling
You don't know
Center.
her name? Because they changed doctors over there a good bit.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. No. But
What do you
I've
call
been
her?
seeing her for a while now, but
What do you call her when you go in? You don't call her Dr. Mary or Dr. Jones or
no, I just started talking to her. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I just started talking to her. I don't remember her name.
is she the one who prescribed the melatonin?
No, was it her? Yeah, it was her. She prescribed melatonin at
Did you bring
first.
the empty bottle back in from your car?
I don't have it. I
I thought
threw
you
it
said it was
away.
in the car and you said it was empty.
I threw it away. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
I don't have it anymore.
Well, we need the name of the doctor and we need it sooner than later. So,
I actually did a release of information
well,
for
that doesn't help me. I want you to tell me the name of the doctor. So, when we get through with court, you need to scour through your papers and drug and your prescription bottles or whatever, and
mhm.
call your lawyer and tell her the full name of the doctor so that she can give it to everybody. Okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, Miss Crane. I'm sorry.
Ms. Mitchell, you testified yesterday that you just saw this doctor 2 days ago.
Yes.
Okay.
On Friday.
Okay. But you don't remember who you saw on Friday?
No, I don't.
Is it the same person that you see every month when you go?
Yes.
And you've been going for 7 months?
Yes.
Okay. And when you call there to make an appointment, do they ask you who you're making your appointment with?
I just tell them to give me the same person.
Okay. And the sleep medication that you take, what time do you take that each day?
When I get off work around 12.
Okay. So you're taking a prescription sleep medication after midnight?
Yes.
Okay. You testified yesterday that you also wake up in the morning to get the children ready for school and take them to school?
Yes.
Okay. What time do you do that?
I get up at 5 to get two of the kids ready to get on the bus. And then after I get them ready, I get the other two kids ready and I take them to school. So
Okay.
around the other two kids, I take them to school around 7.
Okay. What time do you get home from work?
I get home from work around maybe like 12:15.
Okay. And what time do you go to sleep?
I go to sleep maybe about, I say 1:40.
Okay. And then you wake up about 3 hours later to take care of the
Yes.
children?
Yes.
Okay. And yesterday there was some indication that you're looking for your own place to live?
Yes.
Okay. And how are you going to pay for that?
With my money that I'm getting, with my income.
Okay. So yesterday you testified that your income is $1,000 a month and that you get $1,600. Well, your children get $1,600 in Social Security. So that's $2,600 a month?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to be able to pay rent and support how many children? 5, 6 children on $2,600 a month?
Yes. And then also my grandma also helps me and my granddad.
Okay. And where are you looking to live? What
Um,
county?
McDonald, the county that we're in, so they can stay at the same school.
Okay. And did you receive a case plan as part of this case?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you review the case plan?
Yes.
Was part of the case plan to sign a release of information?
Yes.
Okay. And you testified yesterday that you didn't do that until the day before court. That would have been the 8th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And why did you wait until the day before court to sign the release of information?
I actually didn't know who. I had to figure out who to sign the release of information, what name to put down. So once I found out the name to put down, that's when I went to go do it.
What do you mean? Which name to put down? The person releasing the information or who it was going to?
Yeah, who the information was going to.
Okay. Who was the information going to?
The kid's lawyer,
Ms.
Okay.
Schrock.
yes.
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to have any contact with Ms. Schrock during this case?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ask Ms. Schrock or anybody before the 8th what to do about the ROI?
I talked to my lawyer and that was it. I didn't ask Miss Strock about what to do about that.
Okay. When did you get a lawyer?
Had it been a couple weeks before the case,
Before this hearing or before the case?
before the hearing, I mean.
Okay. So prior to that, the case has been going on since last year. Prior to a couple of weeks ago, what did you do to ensure that you were following the case plan as far as release of information and the things that were required?
Well, I didn't know about the release of information and who I was supposed to release it to until I got my lawyer. So I didn't know nothing about that part. Only thing I knew was I was supposed to do a drug test and I was supposed to get a place to stay. That's the only thing I knew.
Okay. Was the release of information part of the case plan?
Um, yes, that's what I was told recently, but I wasn't aware of that before.
Okay, but you testified just now that you received the case plan and you read it.
When I received the case plan, I looked over it. All I saw was that I was supposed to have a place to stay and that I was supposed to take a drug test, which I did.
Okay. Was there anything about housing?
Yes.
Was there anything about stable income?
Yes.
Okay. And you testified that you got a job at Pizza Hut maybe last month?
Yes, last month.
Okay.
But
And
before that I was working at another job.
yes, you testified that you worked at Panera Bread. What are the dates that you worked at Panera Bread?
Um I worked at Panera Bread from October to the beginning of January.
October of what year?
October 2023.
Until January of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you work before October 2023?
I wasn't working before
Why
that
not?
because I actually couldn't find a job that was basically equipped enough for the kids' schedule and my mom's schedule because I had to follow by her schedule too. So at the time I couldn't find a job that will allow me to work the hours that I needed to work.
And how did you support your children?
Just by taking care of them at the time.
No, I mean, how did you pay for things?
I didn't pay for anything at the time.
And when is it that you had your own apartment?
I had my own apartment. I moved out, I had my own apartment last year, 2023. I moved out of there, I believe it was February.
And where were you working when you lived in your apartment?
I wasn't working then either. I couldn't work because I had all of the kids. So I wasn't able to have a job.
And how did you pay for your apartment?
Um, my grandmother and my granddad helped me, and then plus the kids' income.
And why did you move out in February?
Because at that time, that's when I was going through the postpartum psychosis. So, my mom and my grandma decided it was the best decision for me to move in with my mom.
You moved in with your mom in February?
Yes.
Your mom and your grandmother always helped you with the children?
Yes.
Has there ever been a period of time, ma'am, when you financially supported the children yourself?
No, I haven't. Not by myself. I have taken care of the kids by myself, but not financially supporting them by myself, no.
When you had your apartment, how long did you live there by yourself with the children?
Let me see. It had to been about 7, 8 months.
Where did you live before that?
Before that, I was staying in another apartment complex over here in McDonough, Georgia.
Okay, was it your apartment?
Yes.
Okay, and how did you pay for that?
Um, at that time, the same way.
Do you know the name of the apartment?
Ooh, that had to been in 2022. So no, I don't remember the name of it. And
What
I
about the
think
one
that
you were?
the name actually changed too.
Okay. So the apartment you moved out of in February of 2023, you had lived there for 7 to 8 months. So that would have been in 2022.
No,
What,
that was in 2022 and 2023.
okay. What was the name of those apartments?
What was the name of those apartments? Like I said, I have a lot of memory loss because when you go through psychosis, they say you lose a lot of memory. So, I could look it up and see, but let me see.
That's okay. Your Honor, I don't have any further questions for this witness.
All right. Ms. Schrock, did you get a chance to ask anything?
Yes, sir, I did. And I don't have any more questions.
Anybody else? Any redirect, Ms. Evans Battle?
Just briefly, you indicated that you lived alone with the children and you used their Social Security benefits to assist you in taking care of them, correct?
Yes,
That you had a lot of family support to help you take care of them, correct?
yes.
Did Mr. Reynolds help you take care of any of the 4 children that he had with you during that time period?
No.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, we've heard from the parents. Anybody have any questions for the temporary custodians?
I do.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, Miss Crane, sorry.
Okay,
I do, Your Honor.
I was looking down. I would. Okay, which lady would you like to ask first, Ms. Mitchell or Ms. Hubbard?
We'll start with Miss Hubbard.
Which she lives with Ms. Mitchell, right? Or have I got it backwards?
It's two Miss Mitchell. I'm the great grandmother and Shower grandmother. So, and Shower is the Miss Mitchell. I'm a Miss
I'm
Mitchell
sorry.
too.
Okay, we'll start with you, Miss Mitchell, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just tell me which one does Shara
Great.
and the kids live with? I know the kids are between the two grandparents, but where does mother live?
I live with Miss Hubbard.
Okay, so I had it backwards. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
So the three youngest children are in the home every day with Ms.
Mitchell.
With Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Shara.
The four oldest.
Well, then I've got my paperwork is backwards because I'm.
Yeah, Miss
You're right.
Mitchell.
You're right. You're right. The oldest are with you. That's right. And those are the two. Brandy and Jakara are the ones that you get Social Security for.
Bernie and Jakaya, yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Crane. Ask Ms.
Mrs.
Mitchell.
Mrs.
Okay.
Mitchell.
I think
Yes,
that's who
ma'am.
you said.
Yes. Thank you. Mrs. Mitchell, you filed a dependency complaint in April of last year, asking the court, April of 2023, asking the court to place some of the children in question with you. Is that correct?
I'm not sure when it was, but I did.
Okay, that's okay. It's part of the record, and it was dated and signed on April 17th, 2023. You remember though filing? You remember hand filling out the?
Yeah, I did do that, but my complaint start is May the 8th. That's what it stamped on mine.
Okay, I might be confused. There's two separate complaints, so I apologize. That's okay.
I only did one, and my daughter did. We did it the same day, so I did. It's stamped May the 8th.
Okay. So is that your complaint or your petition you're looking at? My petitions say May, but my complaints say April.
This is my petition, but I guess I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. You remember filling out a paper, right? You hand wrote, you filled out a paper. Okay. Yes. All right. That's the paper we're going to talk about right now. In the paper that you filled out, that is a complaint. You allege that the children's mother was unable to care for them. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you allege in your complaint, because I've looked at both of them, did you allege in your complaint that the mother was at that time institutionalized and that's why you needed to be able to care for these children?
Yes.
Okay. And that would have been April of 2023?
No, mine don't say that. I feel like
that's okay. Let me ask you this.
In May February 2023. The end of February.
Okay.
No. I think you got the date.
Well, the complaints are dated April, and your petition for dependency, is dated May. Is that correct?
Mine don't say what you're saying. Mine said May the 8th, and my complaint that I wrote handwritten is February the 23rd. February the 2023. That's what mine say.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. It was done.
So in February, where was the children's mother?
She was in a facility at the end of February. That's why we put.
In March, where was the children's mother?
She was in there maybe 4 or 5 days. It ran into March. I say from March to March the 3rd. I think that's when she got out because I wrote it on my notes. Because she didn't stay no more than maybe 5 or 6 days at that facility. She didn't stay long.
Okay. And where did she go when she left there?
To my daughter's house, Aiden Hubbard.
Okay. And how long had the children been with you? The children that are with you, how long were they with you?
In February when she went into the facility.
Okay. Do you know if that was the beginning of February or the middle or the end?
I think it was close to the end, very close to the end. That's when we did the complaint. So yeah, to end.
Okay. And where was the mother in April?
April, I'm not sure. Okay, I know she got out in March. I think she was at my daughter's house in April. I'm not sure.
Okay. And this is your granddaughter, correct? Is that
Yes.
your
Yes.
granddaughter? Okay.
Yes.
And we've heard her testimony today, and I believe there was some discussion prior to the testimony where it's alleged that you all are supportive of the mother, you're willing to help take care of the children and things like that. Is that correct?
That's correct. We've been doing it for 9 years. Ever since the
Okay.
first meeting.
Okay. What is your name again? Your full name again? Marion A. Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay. So I found the dependency complaint, the one that's filled out by hand,
Mm-hmm.
for a child named Bryce, a child named, looks like Kamir,
Come
and
here
a child
and
named Kaiser.
yes.
Was that the one that you filled out?
That's the one I filled out. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking at the copy that was filed with the court. It's got the stamp on it, and it has your signature, Marion Abigail. Is your middle name Abigail?
That's correct.
Mitchell, and it's dated 4/17/23. That would be April 17th, 23rd, or year of 23. Okay. And on 4/17/23, when you put your signature, it's also written on the last page above your signature. There's a little thing that says state the facts of dependency. And it says the kid's mother, which is Shira Mitchell, has been in and out of the mental institute since February 2023, suffering from postpartum psychosis. Shira is on medications which affect her ability to care for herself and her kids. Mother is at Piedmont Hospital as of 4/17/23. That's what's noted on this paper.
That's correct.
So
But
she was,
go ahead.
so she was in the hospital as of 4/17/23.
She was at Piedmont Hospital.
Okay. What was she in Piedmont for?
Well, that's the intake. They send her to Piedmont first, and then they'll figure out where they're going to send her to the health facility. That's what they send her to first. That's what the ambulance take her for.
Okay. So as of 4/17/23, mom had been taken to Piedmont, and that was intake.
Yes. When
And
they take you
then
to
did she go to another facility after that?
yes.
Okay.
Piedmont is a hospital.
Okay. And since y'all have, based on the testimony, since y'all have always been there to help with the children, always financially supported the children, always pretty much financially supported mom, why didn't you just continue doing that? Why did you file a dependency action with the court?
Because what happened was when she went into this facility, January, I was helping her. The end of February, that's when she went. We got the kids and started taking care of the kids, just like we split them up. We did that among myself. DFAS got involved, said somebody called and said something was going on. She was in by the time she was in the facility, when DFAS called me and my daughter saying somebody reported, and they gave her my number, her number, name, and said that something else was going on that I don't know. They wouldn't tell us everything. So that's how we filed for this, because DFAS asked us to do that. So while she was sick, that we can take care of the kids. I take care of 3, and my daughter take care of the other 3. So that DFAS started. Yeah, we didn't go to DFAS. We continue to take care of the kids on our own. If DFAS had never got involved, we would have never met you guys or nobody, because we'd be continue doing the same thing.
Okay. And can you describe mom's ability to care for the children?
Because I take the other kids over there on the weekend, all I know, she takes care of them like she normally do when she had the apartment by herself. She feed them, she clothe them, she take them a bath. Yeah, I mean, I don't see no different now than when she was before she went sick. Before she got sick, she do the same thing she was doing in the beginning.
Okay. And you're willing to continue to indefinitely provide financial support for the children?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Anybody else have any questions?
No,
Just
sir.
quick, are you familiar with Brandon Reynolds?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm familiar with Brandon Reynolds, yes.
Okay. And there was a time period when he and Shira lived together, is that correct?
They did.
Do you remember if you assisted them when they were living together?
I did. The apartment was in my name, and I was the co-signer, and Shira's name was the next one. And then he moved in with her. They was together with the 3 kids, back and forth, and then they had Bryce at the end before they broke up.
And
Yeah.
during the time period, you had to assist them. You assisted them.
I always did, yes.
And can you tell me, are you familiar with? Well, right now he is living in Stone Mountain. Do you know how long he's lived in Stone Mountain?
I'm not sure about how long he's been living in Stone Mountain, but the address that he lived in Stone Mountain is I'm just saying it's a drug infested house that we've been knowing for years. And I got that from him and my granddaughter when they was hanging out with some friends, and their friends used to go over to do drugs. So that house, I for sure don't want my grandkids to go over there. But yeah, well, I don't know how long he's been living there though.
Okay. Are you familiar with his mother or her home?
Yes, and it's 4 people live there instead of 2. I don't know why he didn't mention it. Anthony Banks, that's her mother, either boyfriend or husband. I don't know which one. Because I've been knowing his mother over 10 years, like when I met him. And he has a brother, like he said. He has a niece that the mom told me she went to Ohio and get a niece. She's about 2 or 3. I don't know how she is, but from her brother. So it's 4 people living in the household right now. I don't know why he didn't mention those.
Okay. And when there was a resource safety assessment completed by the Department of Family and Children Services, is that correct?
What now?
Was there, did the defects come out and look at your house or other things? So when the department came out, what all did you have to do for them?
Defects came out, they wanted to see what the kids, did they have a bed? Did they have a room? They had food in the refrigerator. They looked in the cabinets. They looked to see what the cleanliness were in the house. Yeah. And what else and they looked at the kids. They played with the kids and make sure they was okay. And that was it. And I had to show all the doctor records that I had been taking them to the doctor getting their shots. So each one of them, even the girls that stayed at my daughter's house, I gave them all, because I keep all their records, their shot records and everything. I keep everything, their health records at my house. So I gave them the photo of what I got everything in, and they looked through it. So they checked all of, make sure the shot was up to date, make sure they're okay, and what doctor they've been going to since they was born. And they've been going to the same doctors and the dentist and all that. So that's what they did.
Okay. And did you have any concerns in reference to the children going to live with Mr. Reynolds?
Now I do have some concern. My first concern is when they went to visit during Christmas, they came back. His mom called me before he got here and said he said that he was in my neighborhood. He'd bring the kids to my house, which was fine. That's what we all agreed on, to bring them to my house because my family was here. And she said they had fever for a day or 2. And I asked her what she means. She said they've been having fever. Brandon believed in natural stuff, so he started giving them juices and fruits that break the fever, but it didn't break. So when they get to my house, everybody hot, everybody real warm. I didn't check the temperature. I just gave them Motrins. And about 10, 15 minutes, they start playing open gifts and playing, and they wasn't hot anymore. So I just believe that my concern is when his kids are sick, we take them to the doctor. Either their mom, me, or the grandmother take them to the doctor. We don't do that judgment. We don't judge what's going on with the kids because we're not doctors. So I believe in doing that. That is my concern. That's my main concern.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Mitchell, if you moved out of the house, well, actually, Ms. Hubbard, that's where you live every day, isn't it? Isn't that where Mom lives?
Yes.
So let me ask Ms. Hubbard this. If you moved in with your mother, Ms. Mitchell, and let the other 3 kids move into your house with mom and the other 3 kids, so mom had all 6, and you still provided some financial subsidies to help her make ends meet money-wise, do you have an opinion as to whether she could take care of the kids in her home by herself?
You're asking Ms. Hubbard, is that correct?
Yes, I'm asking you. Yes, ma'am.
I think she will be able to do it.
Okay. She doesn't make enough money to run the household completely.
Correct.
But other than that, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that come up short and
Yeah.
help from one form or another. But other than that, mentally, physically, have you seen her exhibit the skills necessary for her to run the household, feed them, clothe them, get them up where they need to be, whether it's at the doctor, at school, or wherever? She can do that herself.
Yeah, she's been doing it.
Okay.
I don't get up in the morning no
So
more.
when did she get well enough from her postpartum? And I have known people who had postpartum depression, and it took a while for them to get back to relatively normal. But when they did, they resumed pretty regular. I'm not saying everybody, but I've known people that had that happen. And then for some period of time, they were impaired. They couldn't do everything. So how long has your daughter been able to do it pretty much on her own, except for the finances, in your opinion?
Let's see, this is April, so I would say since maybe February.
February of this year?
Correct.
Okay. And do you remember the last time she was hospitalized for her postpartum psychosis or depression or whatever they're called?
I think it was last year in maybe the end of August or September.
Okay. And what, did she just have a breakdown and y'all thought she needed to go back to the hospital and you called the ambulance and they took her to Piedmont to be assessed as to whether she needed to be hospitalized?
That's correct.
How long was she hospitalized at that time?
That time it was less than 7 days.
Okay. And do you know what facility she went to?
The last time I can't remember.
Do you know the name of the doctor that she sees at the counseling center?
I do not, because she go on her own.
Okay. Well, she's grown. Ms. Mitchell, do you know the name of the doctor that she sees?
No, we let her go on her own with that.
Ma'am?
No, I don't know. I don't know the name of the doctor because
she drives herself over there and she goes and
she goes on her own. Yeah.
Have you ever seen her medicine bottle?
I have, but I can't remember them long names. I mean, and that was when she was sick. I seen the medicine bottle because she would come over here sometime with me and the kids. We all get together over here, but I don't know the name of them long names.
She's not taking a whole bunch of meds now. She's
not anymore. That's what she was. Because they supposed to release her stuff to Miss Shamrock. I don't know who they released it to.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Miss Rock. I can't. So they supposed to release that. I don't know. The last time she went to her, but I don't know have they done it yet.
All right.
And Judge, I apparently misunderstood when you asked, was there anything else? I was thinking in reference to Ms. Mitchell testifying and not whether or not we had any other questions as to Ms. Hubbard.
You're finished. You're finished.
But I think I wanted to clarify in reference to Mr. Reynolds' testimony. There were some things he had indicated that Ms. Hubbard would have knowledge of, and the other witnesses may not.
Go ahead. Just I meant to tell you at the beginning, I have to be at a meeting at 1:00, and I think Ms. Crane has to be in another court. Is it 1:30? You have to leave at 1:30 or be there at 1:30?
I'm sitting outside the courthouse right now, Your Honor, waiting to wrap this up to go in.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, I have a hearing.
Got some time. Go ahead and take your 2 minutes to wrap those things up.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to know, Mr. Reynolds had indicated that he had paid support, or that he provided support whenever you called to ask. Were there times that you have reached out to Mr. Reynolds and asked for money or to buy something for the children?
Yes. Ms. Hubbard that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And when were those times?
Last year it was right probably in the fall time when the weather was changing. I called them and asked for some money to get the kids, some winter clothes. And that was kind of after we had our last court meeting, where they said that we could come to agreement ourselves on child support. So I called him to try to come to agreement on child support, but that didn't happen because he didn't agree. He was just asking what did they need, and he'll just buy whatever they need. So, but then he ended up a couple weeks later, he gave me $150. And then I called them, I think this year, maybe like in February, and I asked for some help with Bryce school supplies because he had changed schools and he needed more school supplies. So he gave me $50 then.
Okay. And as far as spending the night, do you recall how many times the kids may have stayed overnight at his mom's?
This year, they have not spent the night over his mom's. Last year, I want to say maybe 6 nights out the whole year.
And would that have been 6 individual times or?
No, they had them for maybe a few nights in the summertime in July. And then around Christmas, they had them for maybe 2-3 days.
Okay. All right then. And I think the court has already addressed anything else I might have want to ask. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Not for testimony, Your Honor.
No, sir.
Ms. Schrock, have you been able to discern the name of the doctor that she sees at the counseling center?
No, because I was on leave last week and I was actually out of the country, and that's when I was actually copied on an email that Miss Bartles sent to the mother, telling the mother to do the release of information for the counseling center. And that was last week, and of course I got back on Monday, and I made a call to Miss Evans Battle to let her know that I had been on leave last week when that email got sent.
Okay.
So I haven't been able to get any information.
All right. I'm going to leave things somewhat like they are. We're going to come back in July on a date that Robin's getting me. In the meantime, you need to, you say you've already signed the release of information, but I need Ms. Schrock, I need you to identify this provider, and I need you to pose to her questions about whether she has an opinion as to whether the mother's parenting abilities are compromised because of her history with the postpartum, what appears from all the testimony, postpartum depression or psychosis. And confirm what medication, if any, she's taking besides melatonin, which I didn't know was prescription either, but maybe there's a prescription stream that I haven't heard about. The kids will stay where they are with the temporary custodians. I want dad's visits to change. And I started to tell you how to change it, but I don't know everybody. Dad's work schedule is a little different from a lot of our parents, and I don't know any of these other people's schedules. But what I want, I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to work it out yourselves. But between now and the end of school, which Robin looked up on the school board's website, the last day of school is May 24th. So for about a month and a week and a half or so, I want Dad to have lengthy day visits every other Saturday. Wait, no, he's off Sunday and Monday, right? Dad?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I want you to, starting this Sunday, you're to come pick up the kids and spend the day with them. You don't have to take them to Dave and Buster's and do all that expensive stuff. You can, I don't care if you do, but you sort of make your own bed when you do that, then they expect it every week, and that gets pricey. Unless they take a nap in Dave and Buster's, and my kids never took a nap when they went in there. They just spent money nonstop. But I want you to do it every other Sunday until school is out. And when school is out, I want you to come get them, and I want them to go to your house with your mother, not to Decatur, but I want you to take them to your mother's. Now, is your mother, I don't remember anybody asking, but I'm assuming your mother is healthy enough to watch these kids. And we're talking about 4 of the 6, not all 6. Your 4 kids, she's able to watch them if you have to go to work or run an errand or something like that. She's not disabled, or she wouldn't be impaired, and it wouldn't be safe for the kids to be left with her. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
She's capable.
All right. So I want you to pick them up so that you have them from Sunday to Monday. during the summer, okay? Every other weekend. All right, so the,
From Sunday
The
to
last
Monday,
day is-
Your Honor?
beg your pardon?
Sunday to Monday, one
Yes.
night?
Well, you tell me how he's gonna get him for 2 nights if he's working. I don't want him dumping him on his mother for the whole weekend. I was gonna say pick him up Saturday evening and bring him up back Monday, but he works, I thought he said he worked till midnight every night on his shift.
Well, he does work, Your Honor, but oftentimes families, both parents do work, and we still give substantial summer visitation. They're responsible for working out their child care at that time.
Well, these are visits for dad, not grandma. And if dad can figure it out, I don't have any problem. I'd rather him pick them up Saturday and bring them back Monday afternoon, Monday evening, because he's off on Monday. And rather than be there for 2 nights to see how they like it and see how he likes it. But listen, I'm not all that familiar with people who are into alternative methods of medicine, but if a kid has a fever and it's not treated, it can do some serious permanent damage to parts of their body, like it can mess with their hearing, in certain types of infection, which generally fever means there's an infection. Certain types of infections can kill people if they go untreated. So you need to treat the fever if they're running a fever. Don't wait for fruits and vegetables to do the job. I'm not familiar. Maybe there's something out there that you contend reduces a fever, but according to grandma, they came home with a fever and she had to treat it with Motrin, which is an over-the-counter. You don't want to pop it as candy every day, but it does the job. Okay?
Judge, I do have
Mr.
concern.
Reynolds, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Your Honor, can you clarify when the summer visits start? Is that going to be the first Sunday after the children are released from school?
Hold on just a second.
Until,
I wanted y'all to work the fine tails of these yourselves and me not have to do it, because as soon as I say something, then somebody says, well, what about this? And what about that? And hold on, let me get to my calendar so I can.
well, that's okay. I was just going to ask if it was weekly or every other week in the
No,
summer.
it's every other Saturday. Every other Sunday until school is out. And then it's every other weekend until we come back in July to see how everything has gone and how we've gotten a report from the mom's psychiatrist or whatever this lady is that she sees regularly, and what her medication regimen is. Hold on. Y'all got me discombobulated. I can't remember where my calendar is on my phone.
Judge, in making this visitation schedule to be at his mother's, who is not present, who has not indicated, there's been no indication that she would even agree or approve of this. Can the court at least have Ms. Schrock to reach out to that person to see if it would be, if she's
That's fine, but
fine with it, if it's appropriate? The guardians, as it is, they had to have the department come in, look at the home and do all these things, take drug screens from the background checks.
Well, they did that at my request.
Yes,
I
sir.
did that on every private case. But no, well, I'm basing that based on the testimony yesterday that the kids have been to grandma's house before and
That
spent
they've been
time.
there, that they have been there twice. But if you're talking about a longer term situation, I think that
They spent the
particularly
night.
since Mr. Reynolds was not honest about all the people who are living in the home.
Well,
Your Honor, if we're going to start talking about who's not honest, then we
Oh,
can
we're
start
not,
talking
we're
about
not.
mom not being honest.
I'm not. Y'all can save that for next time. That weekend, that Saturday to Monday would be that next weekend and then it would be every other weekend after that. So that would be May the 25th to the 27th and every other weekend after that until we come back on July the 16th at 2:00 on Zoom. If one of you lawyers will prepare a short order of what I've said so that everybody will have a copy of it and circulate it to the other lawyers. Ms. Schrock, why don't you do it for me,
Okay.
please?
Yes, sir, I will.
And I'm fine with you checking with grandma. And if grandma says, no way, I don't want those kids in my house, then dad will have to figure something else out. But
I Okay, well, while we're on the, while we're all here together, Mr. Reynolds, can you provide her number to me?
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes, B, okay,
All right, 678.
thank you.
And I think it was in one of the previous orders, but if it's not, everybody has to get along, at least pretend to get along, be civil. I don't want any fussing and cussing, especially in front of the kids. I don't want anybody bad mouthing anybody else to the kids or in the presence of the kids. That does not serve any useful purpose. Sounds like, for the most part, everybody's gotten along and these kids have been taken care of, and it's been, you know, the old saying of takes a village to raise a child, and this has been a group effort. Everybody has participated, and I want it to continue that way. And then we'll see where we are in July. If you get the letters, don't wait till the court date to give it out. Go ahead and circulate it to the lawyers. Okay, Ms. Schrock?
If I get the letter,
If you get the letter that I've asked you to secure from her treating psychologist, psychiatrist, I don't know. They generally, the psychiatrists over there generally don't meet and counsel with people. So I'm wondering if she's seeing a therapist, but whoever she's seeing, get their credentials and their length of time with her and their opinion about her parenting abilities after having seemingly had at least some measure of recovery from postpartum depression. And again,
I'm sorry, I thought that you were saying you wanted me to have a telephone call with a provider, but you would like a letter, you would like the provider to complete a letter?
Well, she'll only talk to you and give it to you over. I trust you to report to me what she said, but I thought it'd be easier to get it, just tell her what you want, and if she can write a brief note about it. I'll leave it up to you how you want to get it. That's the question.
Yeah, that works. That works. I'll get whichever one they're willing to give me.
I've gotten the impression that it's not very easy to get these people on the phone, period.
No.
And,
That's why I worried that I might not get a letter.
Well, you may not, but you know. Anyway, do the best you can, and y'all take care of these kids. All right.
If I could get a letter from my doctor, is that okay?
Sure,
Okay?
you can try to get it, but Ms. Schrock is still going to try to communicate with your doctor. As soon as you give her the name of her, that's the first thing you need to do is today get the full name of the doctor and the full name of the medicine that you say you're taking. You say you've got one medicine. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Y'all take care. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good luck in Coweta County, Ms. Crane, or whatever county you're in.